6 p.m. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The Prime Minister and the Army Chief at a meeting in Islamabad have discussed matters relating to national security. The Prime Minister has directed the Petroleum Division to extend every possible assistance to foreign companies working to explore oil and gas in Pakistan. The Finance Minister says Pakistan has demanded the removal of India from the Financial Action Task Force review body due to its anti-Islamabad lobbying. Turkmen Foreign Minister arrives in Islamabad tomorrow for talks with Pakistan's leadership on bilateral and regional affairs. The Joint Resistance Leadership in occupied Kashmir has termed the summoning of Hurriyat leaders by the Indian agency National Investigation Agency to New Delhi for questioning as sheer political vendetta. In the Pakistan Super League's last leg, Multan Sultans beat Lahore Qalandars by 7 wickets in Karachi this evening, while in another match, Peshawar Zalmi will take on the Karachi Kings later this evening. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan is addressing a ceremony in Islamabad organized by the State Bank of Pakistan on the launch of low-cost housing finance policy framework. We connect you live to the ceremony now.
Foreclosure laws का केस सुन ले तो हम समझते हैं कि उससे ये बड़ी तेजी से जो हमारा टारगेट है 50 लाख घर का 5 सालों में इंशाल्लाह वो हम पूरा कर सकेंगे. शुक्रिया.
That was the Prime Minister, and we shared the last part of his speech at the State Bank of Pakistan's ceremony. And now the rest of the news. The Army Chief General Qamar Javed Bajwa called on Prime Minister Imran Khan in Islamabad today. During the meeting, they exchanged views on matters relating to the national security. Prime Minister Imran Khan has directed the local companies to expedite their exploration work in the oil and gas sectors. He was presiding over a meeting held to review issues pertaining to the petroleum sector in Islamabad today. The Prime Minister directed the Petroleum Division to extend every possible assistance to foreign companies working in this sector. He also directed to digitalize all the system and removal of unnecessary hurdles to ensure completion of every project in the oil and gas sector in the allotted time. The Prime Minister said nature has given oil and gas reserves besides other minerals to Pakistan, and we can take benefit of these by their exploration and proper usage. The Finance Minister Asad Umar has said Pakistan's reservations on presence of India in the review body of the Financial Action Task Force are real and genuine. Talking to the media persons in Islamabad today, he said India's lobbying against Pakistan in the Financial Action Task Force and wants Pakistan to be blacklisted. He said the neighboring country has also done lobbying through various companies. He said this is the reason that we have demanded the removal of India from the Financial Action Task Force review body. Meanwhile, addressing a function in Islamabad today, the Finance Minister urged the regulators, including the Securities and Exchange Commission of Pakistan and Pakistan's stock market, to fully facilitate the corporate sector in order to enhance its productivity and contribution to the economy. He said corporate laws are also being amended to improve business environment in the country. He said fundamental operating procedures for the corporate sector will also be changed to achieve the desired goals, change the multilateral procurement rules. The World Bank has recognized Pakistan's enhanced compliance with the international corporate governance standards. This was recognized in the Pakistan report on the observance of standards and codes on corporate governance launched in Islamabad today. ROSC is a prominent component of global efforts to strengthen the international financial architecture and aims at promoting greater financial stability both domestically and internationally through the development, dissemination, adoption, and implementation of international standards and codes. Speaking on the occasion, the Finance Minister Asad Umar said outcomes of the assessment will contribute to the government reforms agenda to improve the investment climate, the attractiveness of the capital market, and public sector company reforms. The Information Minister Fawad Chaudhry has urged India to shun its intransigence and allow the Kashmiri people to exercise their inalienable right to self-determination through a plebiscite under the United Nations resolutions. In a tweet today, he said India has deployed 700,000 troops in the occupied valley, and there is one Indian soldier for every 10 Kashmiris. He said despite spending billions of rupees on security in occupied Kashmir, the situation is not under the control of India, and it did not have the courage to hold polls there. In another tweet, the Information Minister Chaudhry Fawad Hussain has said previously only he spoke of the Nobel Prize for Prime Minister Imran Khan, but now the American newspaper Christian Science Monitor has also called for granting Nobel Prize to him as the world has been saved from a big war due to his peace efforts. The Minister for Human Rights, Dr. Shireen Mazari, has said the incumbent government is taking pragmatic steps to ensure the protection and provision of human rights. Talking to the head of a delegation of the International Committee of the Red Cross in Pakistan, Rito Stocker, in Islamabad today, she said we are focusing on the implementation of the existing laws and also paying attention to devise new legislation. She said we are also building up human rights related database. On the occasion, various issues relating to human rights were also discussed, including the issue of the Pakistani prisoners abroad and protection of their rights. She also raised the issue of Shakirullah, a Pakistani prisoner who was tortured and killed under state patronage in an Indian jail. She said India has failed to protect right to life of Pakistani prisoner. This is Radio Pakistan. The Turkmen Foreign Minister Rashid Meredov will visit Islamabad tomorrow for talks with Pakistani leadership on bilateral and regional affairs. According to Foreign Office spokesperson Dr. Mohammad Faisal, he will also be accompanied by a high-level delegation comprising Turkmen Minister for Energy and other high-level officials. Rashid Meredov will lead his country's delegation at the second round of Pakistan-Turkmenistan bilateral political consultations to be held in Islamabad. The Turkmen foreign minister will also hold meetings with the ministers of finance, petroleum, and energy. The European Union is allocating 100,000 euros in humanitarian funding to bring life-saving assistance to the most affected communities in southern Pakistan. According to a press release, the aid will directly benefit 15,000 people in two of the hardest hit pockets in the region, namely Tharparkar district in Sindh province and Noshki district in Balochistan province. The European funding supports the Pakistan Red Crescent Society in delivering immediate assistance through the distribution of cash grants. In occupied Kashmir, the Joint Resistance Leadership has termed the summoning of Mirwais Umar Farooq and Sayyid Ali Gilani's son Sayyid Naseem Gilani by the National Investigation Agency to New Delhi in the name of questioning as sheer political vendetta. According to Kashmir Media Service, the leadership, in a statement in Srinagar, said the National Investigation Agency raids on residences of Hurriyat leaders and their relatives are aimed at preventing them from pursuing the Kashmiris' demand for freedom. The Joint Resistance Leadership made it clear that the struggle for the inalienable right to self-determination would be taken to its logical conclusion against all odds. Meanwhile, Mirwais Umar Farooq has decided not to appear in person before the National Investigation Agency. His counsel, in response to the National Investigation Agency notice, said the Mirwais would not travel to New Delhi because of threat to his personal safety. In Afghanistan, more than 40 Taliban have been killed in Takhar, Uruzgan, and Baghdad provinces during the last 24 hours. A local pro-government militia commander, Mohammad Qasim, said 4 Taliban have been killed in Ozan Kotal area in Rastak district of northern Takhar province. He said 23 militants have been killed in the outskirts of Tereen Court city of Uruzgan province. And now cricket. In the last leg of the Pakistan Super League, Multan Sultans beat Lahore Qalandars by 7 wickets today. Batting first, Lahore Qalandars scored 140 runs for the loss of 8 wickets in the stipulated 20 overs. Multan Sultans achieved the target in 12.3 overs for the loss of 3 wickets. In another match, Karachi Kings will face Peshawar Zalmi at 1900 hours Pakistan Standard Time today. And finally, the weather. Mainly cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country during the next 12 hours. However, rain, thunderstorm with light snowfall over the hills accompanied by gusty winds is expected in Malakand, Quetta, Kalat, Makran divisions and Gilgit-Baltistan. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link, facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.